Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I have some news to finally talk about. I think it happened like last week or the week before. Of course, many of you know I've been sick and haven't been able to talk about stuff like this. If I hadn't been sick, I would have, God willing, attempted to make a video that day about this news. But here I am. I'm the last one of the party, but I still think it's worth talking about. I have some kind of varying opinions from a lot of people about this subject. If you haven't heard, Kathleen Kennedy, who was in charge of all the Star Wars stuff, like movies and pretty much the entire IP under Disney's label, since they bought it back in 2012, she is no longer going to be the president. Apparently, she's completely gone, and as far as I don't know if we actually got an answer as to whether she was fired or voted out, which might as well be fired, or just quit. She had said for a while that she wanted to get one more, or really just one good hit under her belt before she left, and that was going to be that for her. And it sounds like that's not going to be the case. I think the last couple of things coming out under her label is this new Mall TV show that the trailer came out for the other day. I'll talk about that because I really am looking forward to that. But also this Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and I guess some of the other shows may be coming out too, aside from Mall. I don't know. As many of you know, I'm a die-hard Star Wars fan. I have not been a fan of Kennedy or Rian Johnson, her boyfriend, since Last Jedi. They killed Star Wars, and I think I don't need to repeat this over and over again like I usually do. I think we're all pretty much on the same page. Star Wars will never be the same because of people like Kathleen Kennedy and Johnson, and Iger, for that matter. And I feel like what they did to betray Lucas over the years has really come back to bite them on the ass. And rightfully so, in my opinion. Now, this is the thing. Filoni and another guy are taking over Kathleen Kennedy. And personally, I don't hate Filoni. I know he gets a lot of grief about his Ahsoka creation. You know, he created that character. And I've never understood the hate for Filoni. I know that he gets a lot of grief, and sometimes it seems like it's in jest, but a lot of the time it does not seem like it's in jest with the fandom. But, like, to me, I remember back in the day when the Clone Wars movie was coming out, and Cartoon Network and stuff would show, like, kind of behind-the-scenes things, and they, like, introduced everybody to Filoni with his goofy cowboy hat. And I remember back then thinking he seemed like an actual fan, and he was like a direct protege of George Lucas. He was not a coffee girl like Kathleen Kennedy. He seemed like a dude who actually knew Star Wars. He seems to really love it. I mean, you hear some of the more hot takes that he's had recently. He didn't like the Andor TV show. I haven't seen it. I have no interest in watching Andor, even though I love Rogue One for the most part. But it seems to me, in my opinion, I think that Filoni will do a good job. It all kind of depends on his bosses and who's surrounding him. I don't think it's as much of a direction situation like somebody like James Gunn, for example, where it's all about what he and Peter Safran, I think is his name, whatever they want to do, and it just seems like one bad idea after another. I don't think Filoni will let us down with that. You know, Filoni, he directed at least, one episode of that Ahsoka TV show, the live-action one? I think. That was his brainchild and that character, and I love Ahsoka. I just agree with a lot of people. I don't want her crammed into everything. But one of my biggest issues, and I've said this for a long time, and I suspect that Filoni will get this right, is that Star Wars needs to be more about Jedi, Sith, lightsabers, and Force. And if it's not, and it leans more towards a Rogue One style or a Solo style or any of the less mystic, let's say, books, I don't think it's as good. It's one of the reasons I don't really want to watch Andor. All of that other stuff just makes it feel like generic sci-fi to me as a kind of a sci-fi normie, but a Star Wars hardcore fan. I think Filoni's going to do a good job. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I really do think he will. But I also think it's going to be a situation that's going to be more in the eyes of the beholder. You know, I think we hardcore original 6 movie fans, OT and prequel trilogy fans, I think we're going to like what he does. I don't think a lot of other people are going to. I don't think the normies are going to. I don't think the Disney shills are going to. They're going to defend Kathleen Kennedy probably. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be for everybody, but Star Wars was never designed to be for everybody. It just so happened people really loved what it always was, I think. But people like my mom, even though she grew up in the 70s and 80s, you know, she knew that it was special as a creation. There was nothing like it when it came out. And it stood out from other things she grew up with, like Star Trek, when it was doing reruns many years later. But even she could look at these things and tell how unique Star Wars was, and it was a nice, like, one-time watch for her, and then she had a boy named Michael who made her watch it over and over again. But anyway, I think that Filoni will be able to save it for the fans, possibly, but maybe not for everybody else. Just in case you don't know, Lucasfilm has still not made a profit off of their billions of dollars purchase. What was it, $4 billion, $12 billion, something like that for all of Lucasfilm product, Willow, all of that. I don't think that they will ever be able to recoup that money. I just don't. I don't care how well they treat Star Wars under Filoni. It's already kind of doomed from the get-go because of the sequel trilogy and the Solo movie I hate so deeply. It's just kind of doomed altogether. And I'm not even a guy who hates the entire sequel trilogy. I really enjoy Force Awakens, and I really enjoy Rise of Skywalker. Even though it's a mess, I still think Rise of Skywalker is the best of that trilogy. Last Jedi's garbage. But I think that Filoni is not going to be able to get around the bullets that Kathleen has put out into the atmosphere. You know what I mean? But if he came in, just hear me out. If he came in and said, okay, new rule, no politics. Number 2 new rule, we abandon the Disney canon. And we reinstate Legends canon and make movies off of those things. I know it's like a 1 in a million shot that he would actually just get rid of the newer movies entirely from canonicity. But we all know it would be the best thing for the options. I think it would attract the old fans again. I think that a lot of people would be really happy. But if you're going to do that, you have to leave out politics. And I think from what I saw, I never watched the Ahsoka show, but from what I saw of the Ahsoka show, the clips online and whatnot, what I heard from other fans, no one complained about political interference. And you could say that's a bonus on Kathleen Kennedy, but I don't know. Anyway, I think I am more optimistic about this because I like Filoni. I don't love him, but I like him. I think that a lot of people are being a little harsh about this guy. And I feel bad for him. I feel like he has to step into big shoes of George Lucas. I think he's a way better option and should have been the from the get-go option back in the day instead of Kennedy, who has no fucking clue, but she was George Lucas' pick, and she stabbed him in the back and pissed on his corpse. I feel bad for Lucas to this day because I love him. I never had an issue with him. It makes me sad that Star Wars is where it is now. But I'm hoping it can somehow earn that grace back, but there's no way it ever could. There's no way it could, not in culture. So anyway, I just wanted to talk briefly about my thoughts on this. God bless Filoni, man. I hope he's able to do something cool here. I think for we Jedi and Sith fans, I think he's going to do some cool stuff, but we'll see otherwise. Hopefully it won't be bad. I would love if he would just abandon all the Disney canon. I think that would put more people onto Filoni's side than he could ever imagine. I really do. Not just with the sequel trilogy people like that hate it, like me, with the overall result of it, I mean. But also the people who are fans of many different things, like the Clone War comics and Old Republic fans and so on and so on. I just think legacy canon fans, or Legends canon fans, I mean, I think that a lot of us would be more in his corner if he would do this. So I'm hoping for that. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm hoping for that. Anyway, what do you think Filoni could do to make everything a little bit better with this? And maybe even succeed in total with what's been going on? I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas down below if you have any. So anyway, I'd love to talk to you guys down in the comments section down below about everything. Let me know what you think. God bless you guys. Catch you later. And what do you think about Filoni? Goodbye.